Good morning. I feel like my camera is not where it should be, but I can't get it adjusted to where I think it should be. So if the angle seems weird today, it is. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Dee Dee at My Big Tidy Up. Good morning, Lynn. And good morning, Melissa at Practically Creative, who is a moderator. That's why her name is in a pretty blue color with a wrench next to it. That's to make sure we all behave, including me. And good morning, lurkers, replayers, everyone. If I don't see you in the chat, I can't call you by name. And I have pinned the pattern I'm doing today. I'm looking for my haul. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, there's some of the haul that I've... Wow, that is not how you spell haul. You know what? That was never going to come up. Let me fix this real quick in my Nightbot. H-A-U-L. There we go. I don't know how much that's actually going to fit in the box, and I will be on it in just a minute. Just a little bit of housekeeping I was trying to take care of as I was waking up. I don't think that's going to fit in the box, but we're going to try. Oh, goodness. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa's keeping herself busy and out of trouble by dropping in her links and our friends' links over in the chat. So if you can't see the chat, drop that, and you can see all the links that they're putting in. So maybe you can, words are going to be extra hard today. So you can find new content creators, new friends, you know, don't forget to give them a like and say hi and all that good stuff because YouTube algorithm likes it. And if you really like them, subscribe. But I would say at the top of that list would be watch their videos. Good morning, Sherry. Melissa has escape artist cows. I think they all are. When we rented from a farmer who had cows, those cows were always getting out. It got to the point where my kids, who were like 10, under 10, 8, I think is when we moved in there, 8 and 10, would go out and corral the cows back in before I knew what was going on sometimes. And once they escaped down the road, and I didn't know what to do. I was pregnant, we just moved in. I was home alone, couldn't get a hold of my landlord. So I drove over to where he said his parents' house was. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I can't get a hold of him. And she says, well, I'll get in the truck. And his elderly mother and I, the pregnant woman, were out there getting the cows scared towards the fence at their house. It would have been very funny to watch, I'm sure. I get cows escaping. It's a constant battle. Okay, that one is too long. So I'm still working on my links. Give me just a... Oh, come on. Yep. I really don't want to fix that, because I'm going to have to leave off the name of the, telling you, not going to be a good day for words. The line, that's what I'm trying to think of. Now, this one that I'm sharing is by Riley Blake, and Riley Blake's Designs. Oh, I know why, because that doesn't belong in there. You know what? I think we're just going to have to go into the lower part because I keep exceeding the characters. Stop. Okay. Clearly this is a problem. The words are not wording today. They are not. And I have had... Ignore that. That was just my iron. And then my mouse. I'm telling you, I slept in yesterday, then my allergies were making me nauseous and had a headache yesterday, and I did not. Oh, good thing that wasn't on, because my iron was. Welcome to the disaster zone. Glad to have you. Drop C today. Yes, Colleen has drop C today, Melissa says. Absolutely correct. Yay, Lynn. Lynn says, hi to all joining the chat. I'm busy sewing bunny tails onto Easter gifts bags. Very cool. And if you missed our, that's how much I've drank. If you missed our Easter hop that Melissa Sylvia at UME FPP and Melissa, who is in the chat right now, Practically Creative, did Saturday, you can check that out. I also have it tagged under hashtag hat trick quilters. It's gonna be a good day. I am not a professional. Oh, and again, thank you for all the links. Halo is usually on Wednesdays at 3, but she will not be on this week. She may not be on this week. You know what? I tell stories all the time about people and when they're going live. So the best thing you can do is go over there, subscribe, click that bell, select all notifications so you know when they go live, when they put up a video. Dee Dee does shares on Fridays at 5 Eastern, and she is an organizer, declutterer, cleaner, simple DIYer. Very, very inspiring. Okay, let's try to move it along. Got the chapstick. I'm trying to look Eastery, springy, but I was cold. This is a sleeveless, sleeveless shirt. So I got cold, so we had to fix that. Okay, first, because I know y'all love a good haul, and Lynn has run off, but this is what I made for our Easter. I went more with spring, I think, because I did a great big table runner back there. That was for my Easter. So this is more spring. And the templates for these are in the description box of that video that I did. And let's see, I try to keep all the things I touch in the description box. I try. I just realized this is not in the description box. This is Pin and Gear brand glue stick. I use it for FPP. It's cheaper than the Elmer's glue and works just as good. I like it better than the purple. I haven't tried the purple in this type yet. This is the jumbo. Hands aren't going to work either. Jumbo stick, which is working great. I got it in like a 3-pack. Super cheap. Because we don't want to spend money on things like that when we have fabric to buy. So, those are cute, Dee Dee says. And Melissa says, I'm being the nosy neighbor today, sitting here looking out my window. The farm is getting some new helpers next door. Strange vehicles trigger my FOMO. For those of you who don't know, FOMO is fear of missing out. And Melissa says, I love the coasters. And Deborah says, right, when we lived on that in the legit country, I'm talking no neighbors you could see. Now we live in the city version of the country, maybe. But we had like a couple cars go by. And then more cars start going by. And I'm there by myself. So if you hear a car and you live in the country, it gets your radar up. And once we had somebody who was actually, okay, this is just my theory, I guess I should say. But they were casing houses to break into. A car pulled up because it looked like nobody's at my house. There's no cars there, nothing else. A car pulled up into my into my garage part of my driveway. which nobody does. They pull up and they go into the circular drive. That way they get out easy. It's kind of a bumpy road. Pulled into the driveway, and a man, an older man, and a woman were in the car. And I sat there waiting for somebody to come to the door. Nobody came to the door, so I went outside and I was like, "Hi, can I help you?" And they're like, "Oh, we were just looking for a friend's house." And I was like, "Well, maybe if you tell me the friend, it's a small place, I can help you." And I was serious because I thought they were just lost. Still weird them pulling all the way up into my car. Anyway, and when I looked back afterwards, I was telling my husband about it, and he told me, he's like, they were going to break in. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I called both my neighbors, which were my landlord and his parents. I let them know that what was going on, called the police, gave them a description the best I could of the vehicle and the people, but just pulled up and stayed there. So I was a little bit paranoid. Okay. This haul is from Fat Quarter Shop, which we all know and love. No, I don't have any affiliate links. No, I am not sponsored. This is just what I wanted to buy. And honestly, I looked up affiliates and sponsors and stuff like that over the weekend. And some affiliates, if you put them, use their affiliate links, they don't want you to use any competitors' links. So you'd have to take those, and that's just not going to happen. I bargain shop. I may get something from Fat Quarter Shop and from Missouri Star and my friend Halo and Jordan. I just might. So I was like, well, that's kind of bummer, but I don't think it's for me. So anyway, what did I get? What did I get? Oh, yeah. Melissa says, I'm 2 miles down a dirt road. Strange cars don't come here by accident. Exactly. And Deborah said, our neighborhood got hit by suspects getting into our cars. All they found in my car was that hubby just keeps junk in my glove box. The first night we lived in this house, my husband left the car unlocked. I don't know why he did that. Even in the country, I wouldn't leave our car unlocked. I used to leave my door unlocked many years ago. And then there was an escaped murderer that was in our neck of the woods. And I was like, I'm not going to do that no more. And I also used to leave my keys at the door by accident. I don't do that anymore either. But they... Melissa, I think you might be on the same track there. Melissa says, Deborah, my husband's car would scare potential thieves away. It's so messy. Ours is empty. There is nothing of value kept in our cars. But he left it unlocked the first night we moved into this house, so it makes you feel very uneasy for that to happen the first night. They broke into the car, a super cheap pair of sunglasses my husband had. They took those, but left a very, very nice little flashlight that my husband says, well, they stole the sunglasses, but they left their daddy's flashlight. That was odd to tell the police. And I was like, well, it's not really a report. Yeah, I think we got the better end of the deal. But I just want you to know that, it's going on around here. Empty is how I prefer my car, Melissa says. I'd take that trade, Colleen. Exactly. And I was laughing when I was telling them, but they probably didn't know what to do with me. Hubby's car is a scary thing to get into, Deborah said. Okay, so I don't know why I was expecting this other way around. But this is, let's see if I can. Wow, I'm ripping it. From the Fat Quarter Shop. It comes with let's see what this is. A free pattern. I don't know if they show that pattern. I've seen that pattern though. Whirligig. I like that name. And it is a 56.5 by 56.5 inch. The Jolly Bar is a 5 by 10 pre-cut exclusive to Fat Quarter Shop. I was going to get 2 5-inch square packs. Why don't I just get the Jolly Bar? So there we go. Isn't that a good picture? She is so adorable. Cali and Co. Cali and Co. is the name of it. Just see that back there. And this, well, I wanted to show, but I don't want to take it all apart because I'm never going to get it back together. This, let's see if I can get any of these to come up. You know what? We're just going to do it like this. Hey, what is my issue today? Nothing is working right. Okay, what color is that? I can't. That's gray and pinks and a little bit of blue. And this color, I love that greenish aqua, I guess. But you can see all the pretty colors. There's lots and lots of colors. I usually do better at this. I don't know what my issue is today. Oranges, reds. It's kind of a, wasn't it? They're peachy orange. I'm not big on orange, but last week when I ordered this, I did get my table topper that I'm going to make with it designed, and what I decided on, I guess I should finish showing. Those are just so pretty. It's bright and beautiful, and of course it scares me. I am color impaired, color choosing impaired. I'd really like to take this thing off, but I'm not going to. But I think that shows all the colors pretty well. I just think it's a very pretty line. And I got, and there are links below the video and also link to her channel, so you can click on the coriander quilts and visit her channel and the Fat Quarter Shop's channel, and maybe all the channel links I have for this haul. And then I got, oh good grief, that was my label maker. But the pattern I made is like what I did. Don't laugh. No, I did not stalk. I stalked a little bit. What I did is I went to her blog. I think it's called a blog. I will never get that right. Blog for Coriander Quilt, and there's links underneath her videos to that. And I went back and I looked at all of her free blocks. She's done for Moda quilts. She's done for her channel. She's done for Fat Quarter Shop. So I looked at all of her free quilt patterns, and I picked one. It's called the Christmas Star that she did to go in the center, but I'm going to make it an 18-inch. And then I started out with her free quilts of block of the month, free block of the month that she's doing right now. And I changed all those to 9-inch squares. So I'm going to have an 18-inch center and then 9-inch squares going around it. So I need 12 9-inch squares, but I'm not patient enough to wait for all the blocks of the month. That's where stalking her channel came in. I went through exactly. I went through those, and I was trying to pick out things that I thought were coordinating with her new block of the month. And one of the things I found, I think they were on Fat Quarter Shop, Blooming something other. I will get you all some links, and I'll put them in the community page. I will get community page links for these things. She did flowers, and of course the flowers are like this wide and that tall with a block in the center, which was awesome. So I took those and I shrunk them down to 9 inches. Yeah, I do that. Those will be in the corners. And then the pieced, more traditional blocks, I suppose you'd say, will be in between. Let's see. I was trying to think what else I was going to say about that. And I'm going to use these for all those blocks. So her blocks that she's making right now, I want to say they're 12 inches. That might be wrong. So I had to shrink them all down to fit what I want to do, kind of like what I'm doing with the Quilt Builder card deck. The cards that I pick aren't exactly the size that I need, and they don't have that size on the back of them. I thought this week's was going to be easy. I was not paying attention to how many blocks were on that. 8 is not divisible by 3 evenly. It's not, so I fixed it. So it's better. So Sherry says, oh, goodness. Oh, if you need my attention, please use exclamation COLEEN, no spaces, doesn't matter about caps. That will get my attention. My mouse went for a ride. Let's get it back. These make great mouse pads. In fact, that's why I made them. Because my mouse does not like jammies. I usually wear my jeans. Okay, see if I can do this. Sherry said, I love pre-kits. No thinking, you know they will all match. Exactly, and that's why I started getting them. But then, you know, let's see how I can make this harder. I was going to my favorite shops, and I had her line up on the side. Make sure I'm down at the bottom, sorry. Good morning, you and me, FPP. Who is our friend Sylvia? Melissa says, exactly, Sherry. Talking about the cars, I'm going to let them talk about the cars. If you want to see what's going on, you know, drop that and you will. Allergies. Okay, and then Sylvia came in. So I am caught up in chat. But what I did is I got the picture on the Fat Quarter Shop where I could see the colors really well in this line. And I separated that window. I opened in a new window, not just in a new tab. I open it in a new window and I make it about half the size of my screen. Then I take the other shopping sites, including Fat Quarter Shop, and I put it, I open them in different tabs in a window on this side of my screen, or it may be reversed. And I get the pictures kind of large. So I can compare, while I have these up on one side, I can compare with the pictures on this side. First, I thought I was going to get fabric from Halo, and then that didn't work as well as I had hoped in the pictures because, you know, especially now, support your small businesses or we won't have them, which means I also need to start going to my local shop. They have some great deals. It's just very hard on my back to shop in a store. What do we have here? But this is what I landed on, where I thought they would match pretty well and not be too busy. Now, she does have yardage that perfectly coordinates because it is all this fabric. She has a Corey Yoder on Fat Quarter Shop. She has some white basics. In fact, that's white that you can get separately with them. So I could have done that, but I wanted something very plain and not white. So that's how I made that decision. And this, I was hoping, it's a little bit different, but I think it's within reasonable. This is a Pat Sloan. I think it's from her Forget Me Not. Let's see if I've got a selvage. These are half yard cuts. So they're like somewhere around $5.50. Pat Sloan, Rose Garden. Rose Garden. Promise Me a Rose Garden by Pat Sloan. Underneath the video is the color. Let's see if this has the color on it. This is my invoice. Gray Reflecting Pool. And you know, I'm a fan of Pat Sloan too. Which some of her fabrics are in my cart over kilos. That's how I shop. You know, you put it in there and you daydream about it until your husband says, hey, can I have money? And they're like, yes. because that means I get money. So I thought this was very pretty. It would probably go quite well with that if I decided to use it. Now her gray is a little bit different, but I think it's okay. I think it's all right for me. Deborah has to go do blood work after the live. That's always fun. My husband says I'm the only person that volunteers for that. Now this one is I just put my invoice. This is Robert Blake Designs. Let's see. This one is the Amethyst Vines Candy Coated Expressions Batik. Oh, did I mention the next three are all batiks? That one I was hoping would go. I don't think it will. Well, it will go in my stash. Trying to find the pink I thought I was comparing it to. But maybe not. No, because there is no purple in this line. And this I thought was more pink than purple. I was wrong. So could you put them together? Yes. For what I wanted, no. But that's okay. I'm building a rainbow stash because I'm new enough. I don't have one. And I think I should have a rainbow of colors. Loving the lilac fabric, Sylvia said. Thank you. I always think of you when I see purples. Sylvia, be right back. Switching accounts. Thank you for the thumbs up. I'm setting date socks for brother-in-law. Nice. I have to go. I already read that. How's the minions coming along? Slowly but surely. To try and finish my first one later today. Hubby will be gone all day, so I'll be able to sew without interruptions. That is part of the reason I didn't do anything this weekend. My husband, I can sit all day and not do anything but have the TV on, mind-numbing, watching TV, YouTube. I can sit there all day and do that, and he won't have hardly a word to say. He won't need anything. He won't nothing. He sees me come over here to this. It triggers him like a toddler. He knows this. I've told him this. This isn't new information for him. Like a toddler. Or if I start trying to make a design on my computer, like a toddler, suddenly I need to see something. I need to hear something. I need to help him with something as stupid as, where does this dish go? He knows where all the dishes go. That doesn't fool me at all. Maybe he just wants attention. Of course he wants attention, like a toddler. And I kept telling him that this weekend. I might do it too at times, but we're not talking about me. Oh. It's kind of hard to see. Then my monitor is usually pretty good at showing me the colors. I don't know if I just wasn't thinking, or my monitor's color was not doing a good job, because I know exactly what I got this to match. This pretty, we call it seafoam. Is that what you call it? I bet she has all the colors listed somewhere. Oh, and she does have a list of Moda fabrics on her blog. A list of the Moda fabrics that will match her, what you call them, designs? Color palette. That will match her color palette. So, another one that isn't matching like I thought it would. And this is the problem with buying online. But it's beautiful, and I don't care now. I mean, I could put those together. I could. But I was trying to stay closer to her color palette than that. Sylvie was saying, wonder why. She hasn't finished, I guess. Melissa says, Wayne is like that. LOL, I finally told him that he's welcome to watch whatever on TV, but I'm not interested 99% of the time. Oh, we would hurt feelings if we did that. And then that would make something that's going to take a few minutes take hours. Because I'm a people pleaser. Just take those three together. That color is Mist. Yeah, that one must be the Adriatic Mist Vines Yardage. That's what that one is called. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I should cut up this shirt and use it. Oh, yeah. My shirt is closer to the color than this. But that's okay. My color on my thingamadilly usually isn't off by that much. Let's see if we can get close. Should have done that with the rest of them. This is peach. That is peach. Which is going to work. Because I did want a lighter peach than that I saw under the pink there. That is going to be perfect. And that will probably be part of the center of my table topper that I'm designing, using the peach and the orangey color, which generally I do not do. So this is well out of my comfort zone for what I'm putting in my house. So, but I thought that would be very pretty together. All of them, but hey, I got one win and we're going to take it and call the others stash builders. Oh, actually the gray will work too, but I was going for a springy summer feel, which clearly I need to practice at, but, and where did I put it? The leftover from this right here should also match these pretty well. So that is my little haul from Fat Quarter Shop. I am extremely happy. And don't those all work with that gray? I'll fix the wrapper later. So that was the little haul. And if you're nosy like me and want to know how much I spent, $53.70, which is not bad. I like those Jolly bars. I wish more people could sell them. Because if I'm going to get two of a certain line in the charm backs, I might as well get that. Sorry for the noise my chair is making. Now, what we do around here besides hauls and talk about, random stuff. Besides doing that, I pull a card from the Quilt Builder card deck. This is box number 3. I have box 1 and 3, and I have a book by them, by C&T Publishing. Links below. This particular one. I pull a card from this, and I make it fit in to this design right here. These blocks that I'm pointing to with the, I guess, the Irish chain looking, going through it. That is from a pattern by Fat Quarter Shop. I'm sorry, that was not true. That is a pattern by 3 Yard Quilts. It is a paid pattern. They have it as a single standalone pattern or in one of their books. I have links to both of those pinned and below the video. So if you want to check that particular pattern out, and all that pattern is is their focus fabric, which I'm doing these pieced blocks, and I'm adding a little bit to the edge because on my community page, we chose to do 8 and 16-inch blocks. So these are a little bit bigger than that. I need to put sashing around these to match, but you're getting the 8 and the 16-inch, and you can do the same. And if I was making a 16-inch of any of these, I would find an orphaned block to put in the center of the 16 inches. That's a big space, and the blank centers just need stuff there, which is part of the reason I adjusted the Ohio Star. So I'm going to pull one of these and then read the chats about everybody's husbands because I'm nosy like that. All these back here I've already done. And part of these are instructions. So we're just going to go over here. I'm not looking at the ceiling because I'm well aware that I need to dust it. So I'm going to look out my back window where it's pretty and mowed. Oh. Three, 4, 5, 6. Of course, it's not. It won't go into 8, but I will make it work as I always do. I think what I'm going to start trying to do is keep these corners like I did this one that we're going to work on today by adding just a touch. This is a 1/2 inch. Now, I think I saw that from Corey Yoder on her channel. I think that's where I got that tip. I'm not sure, but this is a 1/2 inch. So when it goes into the seam, it's still going to have a 1/4 of an inch here, and I won't lose my tips. Plus, it makes it a little bit easier to do the piecing for this because I'll tell you in a minute. This is tea leaf. Does that look like a tea leaf? If I stretch my imagination, I think it looks like a tea leaf. But the blocks that I'm doing, they're not exactly what they've done, so I rename them a little bit. Sometimes I'll put variation. I like the way I renamed this one. I hope it works for everybody. Ohio Star Barn Quilt Block. That's a lot of words. So anyway, this will be next week's, and it will go up here. So at the last minute Monday night, I can stay up till midnight working on it. Sometimes I do that. Okay, but I pull from that just random blocks, and that's what goes in it. And I'm using my scraps. I'm using little pieces, crumb pieces. In fact, this one, you could see where I've used 2 different fabrics here. Put them together. Let me see. What size was that before I started? That was only 3/4 inch wide. I had 2 strips though. So I put the strips together, and then I put them long ways, and I cut out the triangle to get those. These have been left over forever. That I love that shade of blue. It's not going to show for you guys because lighting is a problem. Let's hide it over there. Oh, that almost shows. Okay. And I'm a dork. Somebody says Alan's watching all sorts on TV I'm not interested in, so I watch YouTube. He can't hear it because it's Bluetooth to my hearing aid, but he still has to talk through it. Deborah says Bill talks through TV and YouTube videos. He wants to talk about the news, and I tell him to go to the bedroom and talk to himself about the news. I hate watching news. And Sylvia says, LOL, that's so typical of men. What's that? What is it, hen party? Listen, my partner likes lots of sci-fi stuff, which I hate. I watch YouTube stuff also in my space well away, so no interruptions. We sit right next to each other. Right next to each other. He has his computer in front of him with his ear things on. Sometimes I'll have the TV on because he has both ears in 90% of the time and isn't going to hear the TV, which I can see the TV better. That means I can work on my computer and do what I need to do. But we actually like a lot of the same things. When it comes to watching stuff, I like sci-fi stuff. I like, what's that series, Alone, where you're dropped in the middle of nowhere and you got to survive. I've been building homestead type things. He likes that. So we have a lot in common that way, but we don't like to watch them at the same time. I'm into quilting. He wants to watch gaming. So I'm not in gaming right now. If it's not World of Warcraft, I have very little idea what you're talking about. Although I can see what he's playing from my spot next to him, I don't pay attention. And that's the other thing. I can have background noise on the TV. Second something comes on that I want to watch, boom. That's when it's time to talk. I don't watch a lot of politics or news because it's bad for my health. Straight up. So, but I do catch up once a day for like 30 minutes on that stuff. And I do it about the time my husband gets home because I try to get it done before he gets home and I always forget. So when it's playing, then he wants to talk about what's going on and give me his opinion over what I'm trying to hear. That's why I try to watch it before he gets home. I don't mind his opinions. I just like to hear what they're saying before I get them. Because we agree a lot. Okay, recently found something called Scared Ketchup. I'm not a fan. Is that what you were telling me to tell Josh to look at? That's my son. I don't think he's a fan either. I love sci-fi, but Melissa says, but I hate the commentary back to whatever he's watching. Deborah says, Bill watches all the noisy stuff, shootouts and game shows. Oh, Sylvia. She's talking to Lynn. I partly suffered Doctor Who on Saturday, but I like Doctor Who, went into the bedroom after 5 minutes. It's one of the things, if you're not a fan, I get that. People watch things all the time that I'm not a fan. In fact, whatever you watch will come up as a suggested on somebody else who's watched it. So if you're watching me and then you watch like Animals Attack, the people who are watching me are going to get those recommended. My husband has his own account now because I was like, I am so sick of getting your recommendations. The other day, I was like, I had something playing and I usually autoplay the next one because I thought I had it set to quilty, sewing, crafty type things. It goes into religion. It's not a big deal, but that's not what I want to come up next because when I want that, I will look for it. And one day it went into all kinds of politics rants by people who are like, what have I watched that's going to cause that on this? Because I have a separate channel. This is my work channel. I have a separate channel that's not a premium account that I watch stuff on too. So I was like, nothing but crafty stuff is watched on that account. The only thing is people are watching weird stuff. And now I'm having to suffer through it. Good morning, Fern. As always, I'm getting a late start. I saw that. Deborah says, makes the blood pressure go up. It does. And I recently ordered one of those. It's not a Fitbit, but it's that type of thing that will work with my Android watch because going through the change. Most of my crowd is older women. I think you know what I mean. My blood pressure is doing weirder things. Anxiety is doing weirder things. Just my adrenaline is doing weirder things. I thought, well, if I have that type of thing on my wrist, I can catch it early and start deep breathing, start decompressing, because I'm very good at that. So that was the hope. This is the Ohio Star they did. And these just like this, and this is one block. All my gray is turned into the center. I made 3 of them so I could make one with you guys. because I talk a lot clearly. And this square and a square and a square, the center square is 1 3/4. And these, you could do all of these. Let's see, this one is 1 3/4 by, I wrote it down somewhere. The background, 1 3/4 by 3 inch, which means you'd need 2 1 3/4 squares to do a sew and flip. You'd use 2 1 3/4 squares to do a sew and flip on this one also. 2 by 3, and that's unfinished. That's what we're starting to work with. So you could do these easily sew and flip with those measurements, which is where you just put the square down right sides together, sew corner to corner, flip it over, cut off the back. I'm not doing that. You could also do these easily as template style, which I've shown you before, which means I'm just, let's put these down for a second. I would just take, I'm going to glue this before I forget. Just a little dab of this glue on my very first piece. I have enough light that I can see my lines, which is nice, but these are just the right size, these templates. So all I have to do is line it up down here. And I'll have right side towards me. I can't see it up there. There we go. Right side towards me, and I can see this. Colleen, Colleen, Colleen. I see you. My internet. Okay. Yes, I see. My phone's going off too. That's how you get my attention. I don't know why we went blurry. Was I moving too much? My internet. So Melissa, Sylvia, and Fern would all like my attention. I see you. Let me know if the picture comes back. There's no reason for it to do that other than my internet. My internet. Oh, dang it. We may have to restart. But it's not. Let me do an internet test real quick. Can you hear me? I'm freezing. Okay. Let me test. Oh, it's not good. Okay, where's my phone? I'm checking things on everything, and no. His computer was on when I started, so it didn't redistribute. My internet is very, very bad. Let me see if we've got any issues around here, what I need to do to fix that. This doesn't happen often, but when it does, is my phone connected? Okay. That looks better. I'm good now. That was all me. We can't leave our phones on the house Wi-Fi. If it does like a background update or anything like that, it will take the internet. Woo! Well, at least I didn't have to restart the stream. Sorry about that. That was more a me issue than a technical issue. Okay. Now that we got that, I put this right side up on my FPP that I printed. I've got at least a 1/4 inch on both sides. I know when I move too fast, it'll make my picture wonky too. So I've got that on both sides. And when I said that you can use this as simple piecing, all you have to do is place your right sides together right here and sew it from the top as you usually would. But since I'm doing FPP, I'm going to use my FPP paper, and I'm going to move that down a little bit to make sure it covers that side better. Lining it up down here. And I'm going to sew on this line from here to this corner, keeping that angle. Now last night, I kept losing things last night. 1.4. I'm using a 1.4 stitch. I saw someone the other day saying on their machine they use a 2-point. That is way too big for me. It does not help perforate my papers. And that's what helps you tear them off, is the perforation from that tiny stitch. Plus, I think the tiny stitch probably helps hold your fabrics together more better. Well, and you just flip it back, give it a press. And since I have the papers, I'll trim it even with the papers. And I would change stitch this if I wasn't showing you that right then. Okay. And I'll do it again with this side. I'll line my bottom up down here. I should press that. My iron isn't back at me. I'm not just being weird. Sometimes I do. Over here so I'm not twisted and back at me. Quickly press 2.0 for FB. Yes. They were using 2.0. No, they were using a, I can't remember if it was a Singer or a Juki machine. I just think that's a very big stitch for me personally. Good question. Sylvia, who is at UME FPP, is our resident specialist on FPP because she teaches FPP. She helped me come a long way in my FPP journey. I've got this lined up down here. I don't have these two edges together because I should have trimmed that better. That makes absolutely no difference. Besides bulk in your seam allowance, you don't need there. I talk too much, so I'm going to leave that in. For now. And I sew all the way off. And I'm going to press this one back. It covers the paper. So it is enough. I was using I think my other machine, I was using a 1.8 because it was just tearing them too much. Sylvia says my Janome, I put down to 1.5, but my Singer, I use a 1.8. Okay, so a 2-inch may be what's working for them. I wanted to point this out. I'm using newsprint, which is a much thinner paper than what is sold for foundation paper piecing printable. It's much easier for me to tear out with the arthritis in my hands. But the thing about this is, and I still have the link below, do not buy 500 pieces of the newsprint for the, here in the US, like $15. It was $5, $5 or $6. It may have been $6 for 500 sheets, which was a very good buy. $15, it is not a good buy. Get some cheap copy paper. It's actually cheaper right now. There is one site, and I haven't bought for them, so I don't want to, you know, tell you about them, but to get free shipping, I would have to order 8. That is still for 500 sheets each. And that would get me to, because it is still $5 or $6 there. So 6 times 8 is 30. Nope. 24. 6 times 8 is 24. Is that right? 36. I'm thinking 3 times. Okay. We're going to say 6 times 8 is 42. Sylvia uses normal copy paper. I have used normal copy paper. It is thicker, so it is a little bit harder on my hands. It works. I've tried lowering the stitch length to get that to tear out easier, so it's easier on my hands, and it's just, it is what it is. But it does absolutely work, and that will be, if this other site, when I go to order it from there, they stop carrying it for that price, that will be my next go-to. And I would get it in bulk because I've already went through, of course, some of those sheets were stuck together. This last batch of newspaper print were stuck together. And I didn't realize until the last few that if I take the middle and I fan it, pull it up, and then fan it to let it go down, it takes care of that. So, smaller stitch length on normal copy paper helps to rip it out, Sylvia says. And Melissa says normal copy paper has more uses, in my opinion. It does. It really does. Now this one, because we've got this extra down here, you're going to have about 1/4 inch down here extra. So don't panic if this edge, because it won't, doesn't line up down here. I do need to make sure I've got 1/4 inch because I did that wrong yesterday, and that just, I'm going to scoot it down. Just to make sure. Normally I'd trim my 1/4 inch. I didn't want to. 1/4 inch from the line of the fabric that I put on first. Hopefully this works better than it did for me last night, because, you know, I am incapable of thinking that time of night. Yes, but I'm still a little bit short at the top, but that's still okay. See that right there? That's in my seam. That's a good ways into my seam, so I'm not going to worry about that. I've got them on the papers. I'm going to follow the lines on the papers, and it will come together just right, because that is what I did last night. And the templates, just so my eyes have been giving me, oh, that's better light. Giving me more trouble lately, it seems. The templates, the smaller ones, are for the square and a square, and a square, square and square and square, yeah. But these, let me see, yeah. And that's just the white. The blues that are in that, the blues on here and the reds on here, all come from the same template size. It printed them as different, but it's just one. You can cut out one and use it over and over again. The first thing I used when I was doing FPP was the paper sold for it, because I didn't know. Sewing on that line, starting off, holding on to my threads so they don't nest underneath like they like doing. You can use a leader and an ender. If you have a leader and an ender project, that is great. I did it again. Just a smidge off on that side. Maybe I should have just cut these bigger. I'll show you so you'll know. That's okay. I'm going to be sewing on this line over here, and you can see that that's still, you can see just a little light right there. I have plenty to sew. And up here. I hope you can see that. So that's okay. Now I need to tilt you. Close your eyes. We're going to tilt so you can see what I'm doing better. I hope. I may have to close a window shade. Okay. I hope that's better. Now, if you're on a phone watching this, you can zoom in and get a really good close-up. Or I put it on my TV because I like watching things on the TV. Now, I'm going to trim a 1/4 inch away from this line all the way around both of these. I have a new thing that I am doing. Not really YouTube related, but I do want to put up a community question. There is a thing called the Vine program on Amazon I was invited to, and it's invite only. How did I manage that? I was on Amazon, it popped up. So what it is if I show you guys anything from it, I have to put that it's sponsored. I don't have any affiliate links. I just have to say that it's sponsored because I get them for free, but the value will be as on my taxes, it will count as income. And at I'm figuring 16% of that, whatever the estimated value is. Good morning, 100 Proof Quilter. Good to see you. I've seen your shorts going up, your new toys. So I get these things for relatively free. I mean, like pennies on the dollar. And if I find something sewing related, I'm only getting things that I think I will actually use, that I think are a decent price. So if I want to tell you guys about them, it's not, I'm not going to pay for 30. I'm not going to get something, even though it's free to me, that says it's normally $30 when I can find it for 10, which happens a lot. Anyway, I was going to ask you all if you guys would like, I don't know, pre-records maybe of things like that. I'm not really fond of including sponsor links, and always, I don't care if I give you a link or not, always cost compare, because you may be better at that than I am. Did I say Brandy? Good morning, Brandy. I did that one already. Apparently I can talk and work. And that is my waist. When you use the templates, you can more accurately cut. And if you're using small pieces, those are great. These are the templates. So these will work with little bitty crumbs. You can cut just that size piece out of it. That will work with little bitty crumbs. And you have a crumb scrap quilt, and this is a sampler quilt, so all my blocks are different. I'm hoping that the piece that I'm using from 3 Yard Quilts is enough to give your eyes some rest, as they say. Wow, that doesn't belong sitting down like that. Ooh, I'm trying to start a fire. Let's not do that. I can tell my husband, don't ask, don't yell. So then these two, I didn't use pins last night. I was tired. Ouch. And that's why. I'm going to use 3. Anyway, that program, I've gotten some stuff off of it that I'm holding templates in, and I think it's a great little spot to do that because I don't like those big binders. If you have small templates, I'm poking this through that center right there where all the threads meet on both sides. Color sides are touching. That one didn't go through the center so well. Let's do that again. There we go. I pulled it back so I could see that center if it was going through it or not. Let's check that other side too. And I really don't need the other pens, but sometimes I will put one through this corner and it should come out right at that corner. If not, move it until it does, and this corner. Not doing that today because I've already stuck myself once. But that bind program has everything. When you're starting, you have a limit to where you can only request products that are under $100 until you've reviewed 80 in 6 months, which seems like a lot, but I have a shopping problem. So, and we kept our tips. Oop, barely caught that one. See, I should have pinned my corners. Really know better, do better. And this doesn't have to be pressed a certain way, but I'm going to press it outward. And there's Halo. Good morning, Angel. Yeah. Okay, that might be an inappropriate song. Conway Twitty comes to mind. An Angel's name being Angel. She probably knows which one I'm talking about. So you're doing 4 of these. That's it. Doing 4 of these, then you've got your solid corners. Don't really have to put them on the paper, but I did. I used a piece of glue, and the corners actually start out at 3 1/4 inch. There is no 8ths here. Start out at 3 1/4 inch squares. So let's move these things. Put together what I can put together and get that square and a square and a square going, hopefully fast. These are pieces for that. So now I've got this going on. All my gray should be facing the center. I'm going to turn this over, and just like any other piecing, to get this super accurate, I should pin the corner here. Let's just do that. Because there's really nothing to line up, but to make sure these are super accurate, I can put this, and I can see through this over here. So I don't have to guess on that one. The light is with me today. I got off of that Vine program. I'm not going to tell you the brand or anything like that, but I got a tracing light. It's just a tracing light. It's small. I'm off. And it fits perfectly in my little bitty space. Did I need it? No, not entirely, but I wanted to see how it would work so I could tell people this is how it works. I'm going to hold this tight with my fingers and turn that and plant it. Same as this one. I'm going to hold these tight and turn it and plant it. And I could pin the middle if I wanted to. I do not want to. What I use to see the first piece of my FPP, and since I do small ones, this works really well. Under the cabinet light. I got 2 for like $12 a year or 2 ago. I use bigger ones of those in our closets because only my closet has a light fixture. Okay. And now I'm going to sew. Make sure there's nothing over here I need to be watching. I'm going to sew on this side. I am trying to do better at that. Picking the side I sew on according to the seams and the ease and all that. I probably should sew on the other side because this one would be easier. We'll do that next time. But I I have started trying to do that recently. I am not, take your pens out, don't run over them. I am not a professional, but I try very hard. My husband's always telling me that's going to be your epitaph. Oh, how do you say that? It goes on a tombstone. So we've got this side on. Now lay it back down so we make sure we're doing it right still. We take this side, flip it over. Oh, Fern said she had a hard time printing this pattern, but it's on her end, internet problems. And I did try to include this time how to do it, in case you're not really tech savvy, because that happens. There's still tons of things I don't know. In fact, I'm learning as I go. Do that. And that's just true about this channel. I'm learning as I go. Which is part of the reason, besides, I just don't want to make patterns for pay. These are free. And I was thinking last night, oh, I should use the alphabetties and do the, no. I am too tired. I am too tired to organize those alphabetically. Okay, so I've got it through this corner and through that corner. And the other person I saw doing the FPP, the one that uses the 2.0 stitch, I've never seen him do this. And I was like, and they pin away down here, which is brilliant because then you're not moving the pins, but I will have to try that, not today. I'm going to put this side against my presser feet. It should go over smoother. Especially on this machine. My machines, they just love to turn fabric. They love to eat fabric. And this is not the good one. This is the evil one. The possessed one, I sometimes call it. That worked way better than that one. So now, and you shouldn't have to trim. You may trim a little bit. See right there? That I might have to trim off a little bit. But I'm going to use these lines, so I'm not even going to worry about it. Taking my papers out of my seam allowance. I've been trying to do that. Well, what's your issue? That way when I iron it, it lays flat. Now the problem with doing that on a piece that just has the one, this is glued to it, but it's not going to stay by itself. Good thing I've got it glued. I wish my mind didn't like to mess with patterns so much. Last night when I was doing this, I was like, oh, a star. That's gonna be a fairly simple one to put into FPP and write directions for. And then I had to make the center. I bit my nails off this weekend mostly, so I'm having trouble gripping paper. Yes, I bit my nails. Telling you, the change is a problem. I can feel things going wonky in me. Okay, I took those out, so now I can press it. Let's see how I want to press that. Press these out. I press these two away from the center, so I'll press these away from the center. Oh, Deborah has to go. Deborah, thanks for joining us. Good luck at the doctors. Don't kill anybody. Hitting people is wrong. I don't care what I do. You shouldn't. And I'll talk to you later. So we've got two of these. The top and the bottom is done. going to work on the center, which is probably going to take me forever. I talk too much about my little haul. I kept telling my husband this weekend, he needs to get me a punching bag. He told me no. And I was like, telling me no means very little to me. If I want one, I will get one. I just don't want to put it up. I was going to put my vanity together, my bathroom vanity together on Sunday. I was like, okay, I'm bored. It's a good time to do it. I'll pay attention. I told my husband, I think I'm going to put the vanity together. He started letting me know how I should do it and how I shouldn't do it, which, first of all, I don't need or ask for help generally on anything unless it's electrical. I will figure it out myself. Second of all, I don't need to be micromanaged. I like that about working at my mom's. She didn't try to micromanage me. In fact, I was left completely alone to my own devices with power tools and all. I told him what worries me is the pipe that comes up, and this has nothing to do with sewing. The pipe that comes up for the water, I need to look at it again, but I think it's a solid pipe. I've got the bits to make holes in the bottom of the vanity for those pipes, but I'm going to have to cut around them to get it out, or lift straight up to try to get it out. And but anyway, nothing to do with anything. Okay, this is the centerpiece. It should look something like this. And Fat Quarter Shop, I can't remember if Halo has them or not. Yes, Halo does, because that's where I got them. I was trying to remember. Halo has these 2-inch ones. I think the Fat Quarter Shop has some 1.5-inch ones. But let's see. These are 2 inches. This finishes at 2.5 inches. So it won't exactly work for that. But you can always use this in the center of a blank space. Be glad if I get any standard sized so I can use my Fat Quarter Shop papers. A1, then A2 is up the top if I'm holding it towards me. So I flip mine over and I'm just going to line the edges up. Across here, and it looks like I'm landed pretty good there. Yeah, I'm going to risk it. Hold it, and I will start at this point. Back stitch, come across to this point, stop at that point, and back stitch. There's other ways to do that, but that's just how I was shown, and I get comfortable doing it, so I am setting my weights. Just a couple. And if you go over, it's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. In fact, I have seen Kimberly Jolly go a 1/4 inch over either side, and then you just pull the paper back because that's how she likes to do it. And it clearly works. So if you find a way that works for you, that's not exactly what you see other people do it. Well, see that? I told you, feed dogs every time. Let me see if I still got my 1/4 inch there. If I do, I ain't fixing it. I am still alive. I love you. That's right, you do. Quietly now. That would be Josh. Dee Dee needs to sign off. Yes, because I am on too long. Have a good day, Dee Dee, and I will see you. I will see your shorts before then, but I will see your upload Friday. That is not even on. At 5 o'clock Eastern or somewhere thereabouts, and leave an extraordinarily long, well thought out comment. Oh, that Vine thing, that's what it's for. You do reviews. The comment made me think of that. And you know how I like to comment on things. So yeah, it's still that little weird spot right there. It's fine. I've got a 1/4 inch over both sides, or at least 1/8 of an inch. It will work with 1/8 of an inch because we do have the at 1/8 ruler that we go by. So I'm going to put the direct opposite side, right sides together. I was really glad that I could get all my pieces, well, most of my pieces. The corners are different, but I have the same fabric. I'm lining it up right there. I'm going to try not to pinch anything over here. I really don't know how my machine did that. Probably when I put it down, it pushes. I have to be careful. Even a leader and an ender is not going to stop me from pushing the fabric. So forward, backward, stop at that line. Cut your extra off. Close to the papers. When I push that up, it should also, oh, that's not good, be redone. It should be redone. Because this one over here basically just lines up with the line. It needs to go over, so I have fabric to sew to on my next round. A bigger piece of fabric is always better than a smaller piece. I just misaligned mine. Seam ripper, seam ripper. I don't like having to sing that. But it's a great song. This is how I rip them. It's fast and I don't have to see the loops to do it like this. Again, it may not be the way you rip. I've also learned that an eraser, I have giant pink erasers, will get those threads out really quick, and they also make seam rippers like this one that Miss Deborah gifted me that will also do the same thing on the end. It's just a little rubber silicone end, which is actually probably much better than an eraser. So you can do that. Now, why did I go wrong and how did I go wrong? I was over one side too far. I'm pulling it up to make sure it's fitting. I didn't cut the corners off of my centerpiece, so it's kind of messing with my head. Okay, now I see what I did. Since I used scraps, this scrap piece was actually shorter on the side than this side of the piece, but I was going to fudge it and make it work for me anyway, because that's what we do. I don't always have the perfectly sized piece of fabric, even when I cut from templates. I think, oh, it's just, a little bit off the top. It'll be fine. The problem is I have to remember when I go live that it'll be fine. I'm supposed to fix that. You'll just have to use him then if he won't get you one. Sylvia said. Pardon me, I need a drink. Just a reminder, y'all got this. We can do this. Something else I would say, if you're new to quilting, I would learn FPP. Because there we go. That covers it. Yep. I would learn FPP early on. I did, and I think it was easy on my brain because I wasn't as set Well, the first one goes pretty side down, numbers up, which feels very weird if you've been quilting a while. Or so, yeah, piecing. I'm going to line this one up with that edge. Try to get the middle. Hopefully I don't mess it up again because we don't like seam ripping. And I am even on the right number, 4. I guess I should have said this is a 4. Up, back. And Sylvia, if you really enjoy FPP and you want to make some of those custom looking pictures, Sylvia can make FPP from any picture. Perfect. Okay, not perfect, but it's as good as I'm going to do. If you hear the word down in my mouth, it's more like it'll do. So now I have 3 sides, and I'm going to go to side 5 and do the same thing and repeat with the blue ones on the outside in order. And I learned from Kimberly Jolly, because I didn't know this. She writes her FPP, so the square and the square, you're doing opposite sides. You'll do this side and that side, and you'll do this side and that side. I was doing them in a circle, and I like this way she does it so much better. Lining this one up. Sylvia says, okay, drop it at the intersection, Forward a couple. I'm holding my threads back here with this finger. That's why I've got my finger back there and my hand here. So I'm holding the threads and the paper, multitasking. Back stitch and then forward. And stitch the next one. And I did that extremely slowly for a very long time because I didn't want to pull my papers off if I went over. It doesn't matter. I know that now. It's not going to hurt anything. Sylvia says also, image being reversed, folks can't get head around, oh, the FPP. I sometimes do not reverse. Look at that. Relatively fast. I know I'm going over my normal going over. The reversed image is what wipes me out on FPPs, Melissa says. Now, the program that Sylvia uses, letters, you always have to reverse print. Other than that, I don't want it reverse print. So it's just one of those things that she can do. And she can provide the templates like I do. More complicated picture, more templates you're going to have to print out and use, so you're not cutting chunks out of fabric to, you know, does this fit? See, we did 5 last, so we're going to go up here to 6. Got it at the top. I'm going to put my piece across it. That one is kind of wonky cut. Let's see what we were doing there. It's still going to fit. Sometimes I'll take my nail and I'll push on this line over here, and I'll take my the other side and push over here if I'm not quite sure where that line is. And the more fabrics I have, the less a light box helps, or a tracing line. Now I'm going to start off the papers this time, are right at the edge. Line it up with that line. I've got my 1/4-inch foot on because I've got it on. I probably should use the universal. It's easier to see. I can do it either way. Actually, it helps my eyes focus because my eyes are always trying to unfocus. It helps my eyes focus that this line needs to go in there. And it covers that entire piece. It's kind of hard for you guys to see. And a little extra, so we'll have a little bit of trimming to do. I need to sort out image for next month's block of the month we're doing. Now I'll go to the opposite side, which is number 7. Same thing, just lay the piece you cut from the template on there. I'm going to use this one because it's smaller. This is not the add a quarter plus ruler. This is just add a quarter. The difference is the beveled edge to bend your paper. This doesn't have it. Doesn't bother me because I've used my ruler for a long time. I like having this. I'm not talking about that right now. I changed the ruler piece on that, and sometimes it still gives me trouble. This comes with 2 caps right here. I changed the cap, and it's still not liking that so much. Probably no, it's not touching at all. And it wasn't with the other one. It's probably me, but anyway. So, tried and true, 45. That's how you get the even quarter. Bend it back on the line you're about to sew. Measure over 1/4 inch. This has a lip right here for it. They have them at, I wanted a pink one because, you know, I'm extra. If I'm going to get something, I'm going to get, I don't like the yellow ones. I just don't. They have these with the beveled edge at the Fat Quarter Shop. I also noticed something, these beveled edges I have cut before. There is no good reason for that. Go ahead. That side looks weird to me. Just checking. Okay, so we're going across from the other one, putting it on. I should make a note. Give me just a second, because I've already almost forgot. Oh, Mom and Pop are on cross stitching today, right? At 10. And live stream cross stitching at 10 Central Time, so 11 Eastern, and Saturdays. And they have a couple of videos up in between sometimes. I had notes. I was wondering if there was any that I was trying to keep in mind to say today. Oh, if you're in a live, please remember to thank your moderators for sharing links, for keeping the riffraff out. Oh, I'm going to get all the links for coriander quilts. And put them on my community page so you guys can see what blocks I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be doing it live. This is just a side project for me that I'm going to be doing for my table topper. If you guys want the 9-inch blocks, I think that I can give those away without affecting. You know what? I'm just going to email Mrs. Corey, Yoder, and ask if that would be okay, because I don't want to take somebody else's, and claim it's mine, because it's not mine. It's not. The 9-inch size is what I got, but Melissa loved your bunny you did. Thank you, Fern. Yay, she says. Yay. Any sort out image for next month's block of the month? Melissa says 11. 11 what? Okay, anyway. That's good enough. I'll know what I mean. And I'll put it somewhere where it was such a mess. I shoved everything I could get to this. I did no sewing after my bunching of thread. It's a wreck in back of me and beside me, and that's not fixing today. But I will get links to hers
up there, and I'll contact her to see if she minds, because mine are all FPP. All my blocks are FPP. The ones she's done so far, I think, are all pieced, traditionally pieced, and marked. Start off, go all the way across, off the paper. There's no reason to stop at that line, so I'm not. Start here, go clear off this side. It should just cover it, and it does. Something else I've been wanting to ask fabric designers, because I could ask Pat Sloan. The fabric designers I watch are fabulous with their community. I have no fear of contacting them, worried about, they're going to be insulted, or because that I worry I insult people. Why? Because I don't do that. And if I do that, it is entirely a mistake, because that's not something I do. I was wondering, I was watching last night when I was getting this set up at 10 o'clock. I was watching, Sherry and Chelsea, A Quilting Life. I don't remember if it was a new one of theirs, because I watched two. One was the one they did yesterday, but another one. Anyway, they were talking about their line, and some people sharing pictures of things that weren't their patterns or used different fabrics and stuff. And I'm wondering, is it offensive? Well, that's just barely going to catch that, but I'm not going to do anything. That's barely going to catch right there. But it's going to catch because I'm sewing on this line. So that is just enough in the seam allowance. It's not going to come loose. I am not picking it out. That's my lining up. I line up a little too far that way or that way. If I used a bigger piece, and I'm talking, so I'm not paying attention. I wondered if, it bothered fabric designers if you used other fabrics, because I am always mixing everything I can find together. I like scrappy. And there's a lot of fabrics that go together. Like their line would go well with this line. So would, who do we love? Bee in my bonnet. Names are hard. Lori Holt. Her line would go nice with this line. She designs for Riley Blade. Corey Yoder designs for Moda. I was wondering if they find it offensive to make fabrics with other people's lines and mess with their patterns, because I have never seen, I've rarely seen a pattern I didn't need to touch. Make it smaller, make it bigger, But I don't want to be offensive. I'm going to cut away a 1/4 inch all the way around this, because wow, that didn't help. Some of these are poking out a little bit. Aw, thank you, Angel. I was wondering your opinion on that too. Didn't want to call you out. Angel says, in her opinion, she says, it is a compliment to make their pattern design your own. At least I feel that way. So I know everybody says pattern are suggestions, which messed with me for a while, because I was like, how are they suggestions? You should do it as you're told. But then I was like, well, I don't need something this size. I would love it smaller or larger, because the Christmas star, I think I'm doing larger than Corey's. I'm calling her by her first name like we're buddies. I'm sorry. And her flowers, I am doing smaller. And the blocks that she's doing right now, I'm going to do smaller. I just had to wait for my fabric. I have it all organized. See, that's what it's from. Maybe you can see this. And I shorthand. I make it to where it makes sense to my head when I'm putting that down. Yoder, Socialites, 2, Christmas Star. And these are the templates. And every block, I need one more block, and I'm probably going to use this month's that she does. I used a piece of paper to fold them over, and I think an A4 binder is going to have a new purpose for me with these. Black 10. These are all cut out, just waiting for the fabric. And now that I've got the fabric, maybe I'll sew some. Halo says, I know others feel that way too. Choo-choo. Well, they see, Sherry and Chelsea, my impression was that it was a compliment to them, and they loved it. They love Scrappy. And I never thought about that before, but I was thinking, am I insulting somebody? I tend to over worry about things like that because of relationships I've been in. To get me not talk to people, you tell people they don't know how to talk to people. Okay, so we've done 4 of these. We've done the center. We've got the outsides on. I'm going to put these to the center. I am not going to pin, but I am going to watch this side because I don't want to lose that point right there. So I'm going to watch this side. By the way, my internet made me think of Starlink. I said we're going to get Starlink when college kid gets a job. He is still looking for a job. He is on the job sites every day applying. For the life of me, I can't understand it. Everything's done online. You can't go in person anywhere. For the life of me, I can't understand why a bachelor's in computer science, a bachelor's in math, and minor equivalent classes in statistics, and graduated summa cum laude, nobody's hiring him. We kept the points because we sewed directly on that line. Sorry about the lighting. Again, I need to make sure, slide it down because I'm better that way. The gray is to the blue. I'm going to take it, flip it over. I am going to pin this one because this is the one where I barely got that up there. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that point. So I'll turn it this way, the way the point is facing me, and I'll go. That didn't work. Got this and the sides lined up. That's how. I'm just going to scoot it down. There you go. So I'm filling it with my fingers. I am lined up here. I'm lined up over here. I pinch this really tight so it doesn't shift on me when I do this. But I turn it and anchor it instead of getting another pin and trading them out. I just pinch this so it doesn't move. Start off the paper and follow the line. And out when you come to it. I'm going to take the paper out of the seam. See how easily that comes out that side? I also have tweezers that I got for Christmas. Very pretty, tulip pink. There we go. Get those out so I can iron it easier. So yeah, thank you, Melissa. Melissa is putting links in to our moderators and our friends. Okay, now this I got to think. I pressed these out this way. So this one I will press inward. So when I press it, I'm going to go that way, and I can take this side off. Please remember to visit my moderators, say hi, give them a sub if there's something you like, and my friends who maybe aren't moderators, but they just don't want any responsibilities. Come in and have fun, just hang out. That's me playing. Okay. Make sure I got that paper out. Okay. Now I'm going to push these to the inside, and they don't want to go to the inside. But this time, they don't get to do what they want to do. Oh, go chase cows. Thank you for the links. I am on here way too long today, and I realize that, and I do appreciate my moderators, who are also my friends, and the rest of you and your lurkers sticking around with us while we do this. Now I'm going to turn it over to make sure I don't have any pleats that I've ironed in it. And voila. I'll put this down here. Have a great day, Melissa. 30 rows of sock 1 done. Congrats, Sylvia. Now this one, we're just going to, whoop, I have some paper on there. Just going to turn it over. Now I can nest my seams because I've made one go this way, one go this way. So the ones inside will click together against each other, the little lips on them. But I'm still going to pin. So pitch that really tight. And I got these pins from Halo. If you're interested, check the description box. Let's do this one, then I'll go outside. Start in the inside and work my way out. If you have them pinned the same way, you should be able to go in through this corner and out through this corner with your pin, and it line up for you. I'm actually more accurate when I use my nested seams. And it should, I'm gonna do this one a little bit because that point should be right where the white, gray, and blue meet. That's where I want my pin to go through. I didn't even check the other one, so we'll cross our fingers. Every time I get on here, it's early, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to take that long. And every time I like to visit, I like to talk to people who understand what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to go through that point. There we go. Now, these points meet right here. Up there, you can see it better. I put my pen right through that point and right through this point where the 3 meet over here. Line up the edge. Push it over. And go through this corner, and this is how we get accuracy. This is how I get accuracy. Maybe it's not how you get accuracy. Oh, yay! See, that's why I never get anything done. I need a new pen. I think these are Taylor something rings. Or rings. Pens. They're extra fine and extra long. They have the pink head on it, and they are heat resistant. Resistant is not the same as proof. So if you're testing it by putting your iron on it and just leaving it there indefinitely, you misunderstand the words. Okay. So I've got this all pinned as well as I'm going to. I'm going to give it a little pull because that center was a little up. And I'm going to sew from this side. So the side with the least seams is going to be by my foot. I'm working on doing better with those kind of hey, that was not your turn to go. My foot and my hand were not in sync. paying attention to which way your seams go is very helpful. Especially, see, it doesn't like that intersection. If you send your things to Home Armor, bulk is a problem apparently. I do things for myself. But still, I want to try to do better, and that's one of the things I hope to work on this year. I always find something to work on for the year. At this point, I can, but don't have to, but go ahead because it's bugging me. I'm going to put my ruler with my 1/4 inch along the line that I have sewn. And I felt like it was going to take more off than that. Ta-da! Oh, did I say what Lynn said? I was going to, but I don't find it. I have been lurking, but I got all 6 bunny bags completed. She says, bye, Melissa. Watch out for them cows. Cows are dangerous. I don't care what they say. Now this side is going to flip up, right sides together. We're going to do the same thing. Nest and pin our intersections. Which reminds me, yeah, that one worked. I wasn't so fussy with one and I was fussier with the other. They both came out. Why do I show you? Because we shouldn't show our mistakes. So, you know, they're not perfect. I spend more time with my seam ripper. I think it's an unhealthy amount of time. Nested these and, oh, that went right through where it was supposed to. This corner up here, up and you can see that, my internet. But anyway, the plan was to, I said this earlier and I don't know if I finished that sentence. The plan was to upgrade to Starlink when college kid gets a job because he wants I had to pull that a little bit because my papers were making it too narrow. He wants to do uploading and things too. And Starlink just has better speeds for it. I'm going to double check this one. Didn't look like it went through the intersection. So I'm turning it and I'm going through the point of that star leg. This side already is. I'm going to straighten this, get it straight. It's hard to see that pin going straight. When I have it going straight across, I'm going to pinch my fabric just so it doesn't move when I do that. I was really looking forward to getting Starlink to stream on because I watch my lives back and I know I go blurry. And it's not my camera. Corners. Sometimes I don't feel like doing it like this, so I don't. I hold them and pray. Like I'm going to with this corner. It is a solid technique. It has questionable results. My papers are coming off, so they've kind of went sideways a little bit, but still using my 1/4 inch. I've got this as a backup. All this help in the 1/4 inch. I've got the tape, I've got the foot, I've got the lines. I can still miss it. And it doesn't upset me. Sometimes it annoys me, but it doesn't upset me. The more you do, the better you get. And I find that has been very true. And that is probably the nicest suggestion, is to do more. There is something weird out the back window. Sew more and you'll get better at it. Piece more and you'll get better at it. And see those? Like I said, perfect just means less than not. There is our block, and I'm going to put a sashing around it, and we will keep all of our legs. Perfect points, Sylvia says. And Melissa's cows are broody. They keep escaping, looking for a good bull. Yeah, if they weren't, I don't know, farm animals, it would be cow season. Probably all the time. Because that's when the season starts. Isn't that awful? Thank you. And if you have a block that you can't math down to the right size, like this one, I'm pretty sure it was in 3, 6, and 9 because it's by 3s. So I had to shrink the inside to get it to fit like I wanted it to. I think Sylvia can help with that too. Thank you, Brandy. Brandy at 100 Proof Quilter! Exclamation BRANDY. We'll get you Miss Brandy. Her channel. She's got all kinds of new toys to show. But that is our next block. I've got to put the, like I said, the trim around it because I want to get, oh, I don't have that corrected. She is not live on Wednesdays at 5:30. I need to fix that, don't I? So here's my advice. To find out when content creators are live or sharing a video with you, go to their channel, hit subscribe, click that bell, and click all notifications. When that bell comes up with the options, click all, so you get notified when they go live, when they put up a short, when they put up long content, and you're not just wondering, do I need to go check their page to see if they did something? Look at that. I completely twisted that. But that's okay because I had it pinned and nothing else was going anywhere else. So this is block number 10, the Ohio Star Quilt block. Yeah. Well, it's complicated. And I don't know if this is a design called by something else somewhere else, but that's just what I decided to call it because it's not exactly Ohio Star. And Ohio Star is the same here with a solid center. The fabrics here and here are the same, and the center is just solid. So I had to zhuzh it up and make it harder on us. You can use just a solid fabric here if you wanted to, but why would you want to? You could fussy cut something really nice there. I might do that next week. What was next week's? Yeah, I could do that next week. I could probably find something to fussy cut right here in the center. Sorry. The sun is my lighting. I turn this light over here off because it does not do me any favors. Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry. Brandy said she will be live Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Cool. I will try to be there. I am horrible at not being places or just lurking and not saying anything. I am. Really fun to see what she has to share. And Lynn says, pretty block, Colleen. Thank you very much, Lynn. And thank you all for joining us, joining me, taking time out of your day. How long was this? A couple hours visiting with friends. Yeah. And now I got to go play my, whoops. That block is done. My Amazon game, which is where I look through tons of products to see if there's anything worth me getting. Oh, I was going to show you real quick. If you're still around, I'm going to show you this real quick if I can reach it. Pardon the top of my head because it's. I have to go back, you guys. Ow! I didn't smack myself with the arm of the thingy-madilly. I didn't. have I mentioned lately? Hi, I'm not a professional. Wow, that is very dark back here. I should have put that light on. A5 folder of any kind. I'm not putting a link to this one because I need to put it up separately so I can put sponsored, because it was one of those Amazon things. But A5 folder, look at this. I had these extra ones I cut out that are an odd size, and I used my thermal printer. But I bought these to go in it. And I also bought some long ones. They're top. See that? All these little top loading. That's the word. I have long ones that are top loading that I've bought that I'm going to get this week. And I'm thinking I need another one of these to keep bigger ones in. But this is perfect. And these come in like 50 sheets for $5-6. I have to keep it upright. Yes, I see you. Thanks, everyone. Great light, Colleen. Real pretty, Fern says. Pretty black, Lynn says. Sylvia wanted my attention. So this is just an A5 sized, what do they call these? I don't know what it's called. Journal tape thing. It comes empty. And I bought all these to go in it. Thanks for keeping me company while I pulled reports at work. Good job, multitasker Brandy. If you use thermal printer, make sure those holders are acid free. If you used thermal printers, make sure those holders are acid free. These are picture safe, so they should be acid free. I think it even says that. The thermal print I put on top. Okay, I see what you're saying, because if this has acid, it will mess up the label that's on top. Okay, I'm caught up now. Took me a while to piece that out. Otherwise, the print fades. Oh, and yes, thermal printers, they do fade over time. I may have to reprint this. I don't care. It's okay. These are easy to take off, and they don't use any ink. That's what I like about them. I say easy to take off, but yeah, I'm going to get the corner later. These are very easy to, and I can print extra ones like this. And I wanted to get one for the coriander table topper that I'm going to make. I'm calling it coriander because they're her patterns. They're not mine. I just adjusted the size. I'm using her fabrics, probably mostly totally from Cali & Co. line. But the long ones, I'm thinking would hold each of those perfectly. And I'd only need 13, but I'll store it upright so they're not falling out the top. And if you have a bunch of FPP pieces that are small you're going to cut, this is perfect. I just had these random things sitting around, and these two, these are for my embroidered towels. I need to hide a pen in here. Ah, it does have a pen holder. I need to hide a pen in there. But I want to get another one. And if you guys don't mind me putting sponsored on a video or two, if I share things like this and I can share the link that way underneath from where I got it, because I am getting it for free to review on Amazon. I don't want to review them all here. But things like this, I think, are genius for sewing templates. Yeah, I need to do that. And the stitching on this one, this comes from sewing, I guess. The stitching is so even. It is so even. This one is, I think it's faux leather, but it's so soft. Anyway, plan is to stand them up over here where I can easily get to them. I'm not digging through boxes. And I'm going to, I don't know if you can see the floor over here. I've got stuff over here in the floor. I had all of this in it. I had to take them out. And there's also a big pile in behind me that we're not even going to try to turn to see. I'm going to clean that up today. Now that I've got the fabric, I can start cutting it out and getting it ready to sew. And it should be very fast. And I'm so excited. Anyway, sorry about the lighting. I should have turned my bright light on. My bad. I hope we all had a good time, and we're going to wrap it up and,
Kindness matters. Don't forget to thank your mods. I thank my mods and appreciate them and love them to death. And my friends that have joined us in the chat and our lurkers, because, you know, you don't always have to say anything. It's okay to lurk. I did that for a very long time, and I still do that. We know you're here, and we still love you. And please check them out. So the least I can do is give them a shout for all they do for me, my moderators, and my friends. So I will see you on the next live. So that would be Tuesday, April. Well, it'll be next Tuesday. And have a happy Easter if you celebrate Easter. That was what my bling was for. I've got some in red, white, and blue too. Easter Sunday is sneaking up on me. I still haven't gotten that done, but lead with kindness this week. Be the light you want to see the others, and take care. Love ya.